and the temporal. Ooh, cerebral.
And the insula, which is inside.
And, of course, you have the insula, which is that one. See, it's hidden within the lateral sulcus. You get this one right here. Insula. Insula. It's like insulated, right? Yeah, it's inside. Insula. Okay?
Cerebellum.
Cerebellum. That would be this. That's all you have to know for the practicum. Cerebellum. Okay?
Okay, that.
Medulla oblongata.
Okay, let me split this open. Look, I broke the brain. Okay. This part here is the medulla oblongata. Here.
Pons.
This part here is the pons. Pons. Okay?
The fourth ventricle.
Okay. The ventricles are spaces within the brain, and they're filled with what? Cerebrospinal fluid. So, the first and second are the lateral ventricles. So this space here, you can see part of it right here. All this space in there, that's the space.
Okay.
The space, that's the first and second, you know, the two halves. That's the laterals. Then you have the third ventricle, which is the space around the diencephalon,
Oh, okay, around
which is here.
Which one is the first ventricle? First lateral.
The lateral,
It's first and second.
the first and second, it is just the lateral ventricles are the first and second.
First and second.
And the fourth.
Okay, and this is the third, and then this is the fourth.
Little one.
Okay, and leading from the third to the fourth, we have our cerebral aqueduct.
Which we don't need to know.
Well, you remember all those were in your actual lecture exam, remember?
Yeah.
All right, so I figured, well, you did the lecture, so maybe now it'll make more sense, right? The space
Yeah.
that goes here. Okay,
Corpus callosum.
that would be this here. Somebody tagged up my brain.
That was there.
It was already there.
It was there for a long
Yeah,
time.
it was already
Sure.
there. Yeah.
We don't touch your brain.
Okay, hopefully. All right, there you go, corpus callosum.
Test maybe. I don't know.
Massa intermedia thalamus.
That would be this part right here,
The little dot, right?
the dot, the
Oh.
massa intermediate, which means the middle thing, right? The massa, the mass, intermediate, middle of the thalamus, right?
Yeah.
So this part here is the thalamus, so the part in the middle is the massa intermediata of the thalamus.
Hypothesis.
Hypophysis. Now, this one actually doesn't have a hypophysis attached to it. It's also called your pituitary gland.
So it's
See this hole right here? It would actually be attached and hanging down from there. But obviously, this is yet another student ripping off something.
What?
See?
Where?
You can even see where it was
it's like
attached.
the pituitary gland.
It is the pituitary
It
gland.
is. It is.
It would be right here, hanging right here. Remember, it sits on in the sella turcica of the what bone? Sphenoid.
Sphenoid.
Correct. It's just that it's not here. I don't know. I have to look through all the stuff. Maybe I'll find a free
Little
one and
thing.
put it on. Maybe I'll make one out of
Olfactory
paper. I'll put some there. What's that hanging thing?
Olfactory.
Olfactory.
Number one.
Okay, so we have the cranial. Well, you didn't do the dura
Cranial
maters though.
Oh,
The
sorry.
meninges.
The meninges.
Okay, we'll do the cranial nerves in a second. Let's do the meninges.
Meninges.
Now, remember, this is true for your brain and spinal cord, but the model that we have here is the spinal cord. So the protective layers of the central nervous system, which includes the spinal cord and the brain. We have our tough outer layer, the dura mater. We have the arachnoid matter, and then underneath the arachnoid, there's a big space, the subarachnoid space, and it's filled with what? Cerebrospinal fluid. And then here in this model, it's pink, the saran wrap, right? That would be the pia mater. So those three are the meninges, right? The dura, the arachnoid, and remember, subarachnoid space filled with cerebrospinal fluid, and then the pia mater. Now, this could have been the brain too. It would have those same layers, right?
What's the subarachnoid?
Subarachnoid space.
Oh, okay.
It's this here. It's colored black, and it would be filled with fluid. You got it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Okay.
Cranial
Now
nerves.
the cranial nerves. Okay. Here's the cranial nerves. Obviously, you have to know their name, their function, and also what nerves they enter, exit, which is all on the list that I gave you. So I'm just going to point them out so you can identify them, right? So of course, you can. I'm going to go 1 through 12, and of course, 1 is the olfactory, 2 is the optic, 3 is the ocular motor, 4 is the trochlear, 5 trigeminal, right? You know the whole pattern. So I'm just going to go 1 through 12. Okay? All right.
1.
So first one. 1. 2. Okay, well actually you can test yourself and see if you know it.
Cool.
Okay, 1, which is
Olfactory.
olfactory. 2.
Optic.
Nerve.
Nerve.
3.
Oculomotor.
And the fourth one, trochlear. Wait, I have to point it out first.
We're all like, oh,
Right here, this would be the trochlear.
Trochlear.
Okay, that's the fourth one right here. Hold on. Wait till I point it out, people. But I'm proud of you. You did memorize
Yeah.
those 12 things.
Well, our test is tomorrow, so I don't know.
Okay, well, yeah, hopefully you did. While you were sitting in the park in your barbecues, you were memorizing.
Actually, I was just in my room the whole day.
Really?
Yeah,
Feel
I
bad.
know.
Did you have a flag?
I went running at the beach in the morning, so that was
There you go.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay, so the fourth one there would have been the trochlear. Fifth one,
Trigeminal.
sixth one, abducens. Seventh,
Facial.
8,
Auditory.
vestibular or vestibular-cochlear, either one. So auditory vestibular or vestibular-cochlear, that's this one. So this one is the 7th, this one's the 8th. Now in some models or whatever, sometimes they look reversed. This is your landmark. The one that's more superior, that has the origin that's more superior, is the 7th one. The one that has a more inferior origin would be the 8th cranial nerve. So in this model it goes 7, 8. Okay? So auditory vestibular or vestibular-cochlear, that's the 8th one. Then 9th,
Pharyngeal.
the 10th,
The
Vagus.
nerve.
right?
Spinal.
11th, and the 12th.
Hypoglossal.
Hypoglossal. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay? Okay, so those are all 12 cranial nerves. All right.
Arteries.
Arteries. Okay, here's the arteries. This one has the arteries.
Basilar.
This here, big one, basilar.
Basilar.
That's really easy. Basilar.
Circle of Willis.
The circle of Willis is actually 4 particular vessels. The circle of Willis includes the posterior cerebral, anterior communicating artery, and posterior communicating artery. Because they together would make up this, well, circular structure called the circle of Willis. Okay? So this one here is the anterior cerebral, and the anterior cerebral actually goes all along here to feed the anterior of the brain. Now, the one thing this doesn't show here is the anterior communicating, because anterior communicating would actually be between these two. But if it actually had one there, then you couldn't really take apart the model. So anterior communicating would be here. So that's the one that isn't shown.
It's like deep.
No, actually it would be right there. Yeah. Okay. Then we have here, these two side ones are the posterior communicating. This one here, and then it leads to, at the back, on here the stem, you can see this very top one would be the posterior cerebral, and this posterior cerebral continues from the top all the way to feed the back of the cerebrum, so this is the posterior cerebral. And over here with it off, you can see this one would be the posterior communicating. It connects the anterior cerebral with the posterior cerebral. Okay? And then, of course, we have our anterior inferior cerebellar and your posterior inferior cerebellar. The cerebellar are on the cerebellum, right? So this one would be anterior and inferior, and this one would be posterior and inferior cerebellar. And then you have your middle cerebral artery, because it's in the middle, while the other one was anterior and the other one was posterior. Okay? That's all the blood vessels you need to know. I mean, of course, you may have heard of the vertebral arteries or the internal carotids that are coming here, but you don't need to know that for the practice. Okay?
The spinal cord.
Okay, spinal cord.
The horns of the gray matter.
Okay, there's the horns of the gray matter. This is the gray matter. You have this part, which is the dorsal horn of the gray matter. Dorsal is also, of course, posterior. And here is the ventral horn, also anterior horn. This is the lateral horn. And this is the dorsal root ganglia, and this is the dorsal root, also called the posterior root ganglia and the posterior root. And this would be the ventral root, also called the anterior root. And together they make a spinal nerve, right? And of course, we have all these different spinal nerves. How many spinal nerves? 31. 31 pairs.
31
31
pairs
pairs.
of spinal
Right? One
cord.
each side, right? 31 pairs. Right?
In the central canal.
Okay. Central canal would be, well, the hole in the center. And what's the hole in the center filled with?
Cerebrospinal fluid.
Correct. CSF, cerebrospinal fluid. Okay? What's this hole in the middle? Hole in the middle. Okay?
Okay.
Now, there's more.
Yeah, the cauda equina.
Okay.
No, on that?
No.
Yeah, it's done.
Sulcus and fissures.
What about the...
Posterior
ventral
sulcus.
median fissure.
Okay,
Ventral
there's
median-
dorsal and ventral. So there's the ventral median fissure. The fissure is easy because it's huge, right? That'd be this one here.
For fissure.
That's a fissure, right? A big crack is a fissure, and then a small one is a sulcus. So we have the dorsal median sulcus and the ventral median fissure. Dorsal median sulcus, ventral median fissure. On here would be dorsal median sulcus, ventral median fissure. Okay, now we're done.
Now it's
the
the
spinal.
cauda equina.
Cauda equina is the horse's tail. On
have
this
it here.
picture, of course, you can have it here. On here, they have it too. It would be
There.
all of this, cauda equina, correct.
Did you get that?
What was that?
And sciatic nerve.
This, cauda equina. Horse's tail. Okay?
And the sciatic nerve.
Sciatic nerve is this huge nerve that's coming down. Right here, this huge one coming. Huge one.
And
What number is that? I can't even see. 60.
Oh, you mean not this one?
It's this huge one that comes from the sacral. This one
so
that
on
comes
this side
down.
would be
Number
this one
18.
right here.
Number
Yeah,
18.
on this side it would be here,
Mm.
coming down.
Mm.
Right?
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah, they're from the sacral.
Yeah, it comes from the sacral plexus, not the lumbar. It
Oh,
comes
okay,
down
not
here.
the lumbar.
The biggest, longest nerve.
Yeah, it is. Okay?
And it's made up of two nerves, right?
Yeah, it's going to become the common
Common.
perennial
perennial
And the
nerve.
tibial nerve.
and the tibial nerve, correct. Okay?
Since we're on there. The cervical plexus, phrenic nerve.
Okay. Well, the cervical plexus, like, this is the only model I have, so I can't ask all of it on here. So I'll most likely ask you
On the picture.
on pictures here. So the pictures here, this one is actually a pretty good picture. And I'll ask. Obviously, there won't be any labels, but I'll probably ask you on something like this. So of course, the phrenic nerve would be here, coming from C5.
Last seat.
Five.
Yeah,
What
coming.
are the last
Look at the
seats?
branch coming from C5. That would be. Oh, sorry.
The brachial plexus, the auxiliary nerve.
Axillary.
Axillary.
Okay, so axillary, radial, and ulnar would be coming
Amaru.
from here, right? What did you say?
Amaru.
Amaru. Okay.
Median nerve. Median.
Yeah, all of them come
Oh, you
from
got it.
here, right? So all of them will be on here: the median, axillary, radial, and ulnar, right?
Isn't there these nerves on here?
Yeah, they're on here as well. I mean, and they're all labeled too. 7, 8, 9, right? Here though, they have. I mean, on this one, it's really easy because you can just trace where they go. Obviously, you have the median nerve, and then you have radial and ulnar will go, of course, to the radius and the ulna. So, so if I ask you down here, you don't even need to really study much because you know, oh, 7, that's radial because the radius is here. This one, oh, ulnar, median, oh, well, in the middle there, you know what I mean? Like, axillary, oh, armpit, That's what I mean. See, here's your armpit. So the ones that are up there, that would be it, right?
Lumbar
Okay.
plexus, the genitofemoral nerve.
In this model, it would be this one right here, the genitofemoral nerve. Okay,
The femoral nerve.
and of course the femoral nerve,
Goes to the femur.
that would be here, right? Going to the femur. Exactly. Okay,
And the sacral plexus, the common perineal nerve.
and
The sciatic nerve.
well, that is the sciatic nerve. The
Yeah.
is the common perineal nerve and the tibial nerve together form the sciatic nerve, right? Those two together form it. So that would be the large one right here. coming down here. Okay?
The eye.
Eye.
You're like staring.
I have 4 more minutes left.
Okay, well hurry up. Eye. Here's eye.
Cornea.
That would be the clear part right here, cornea.
Retina.
Retina. The retina is the innermost layer, which is right here is the retina. Innermost layer. Right?
Oh, not
No,
not this.
not on the other models this, but this one it's on here. So there's three layers. Sclera here, this would be the choroid, and this would be the retina, and the fluid inside would be the what?
Vitreous body.
Vitreous body. This would be the crystalline lens. And the colored part right here,
The iris.
the colored part, inside there is the iris. Right. And the hole is the pupil.
And the sclera.
The sclera is the white part of the eye. So all this white here, that's the sclera. And this, of course, is the lacrimal gland.
Optic nerve.
And optic nerve comes here.
So this is right eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, this one would be the right eye.
And superior oblique.
Superior oblique, right here,
Inferior oblique.
would be right here.
Lateral rectus.
Lateral rectus here.
Medial rectus.
Medial rectus here.
Superior rectus.
Superior rectus. And what about inferior rectus?
We
Right here.
We didn't know that.
It isn't?
No.
Why didn't I put inferior?
is there. In your diagram.
No.
It is.
No,
Anything
in the
that's
diagram, but not in the.
yeah, but it's in the
Inferior rectus, guys.
inferior rectus right there. Come on.
Ear.
Okay. Ear. Give me an ear. Lend me your ear. Get it? Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your. Never mind.
External
Shakespeare people.
auditory.
Okay.
External
External auditory
auditory.
canal. That's this one.
Tympanic membrane.
That's this.
What?
Cochlea.
This.
Cochlea.
Oh, okay.
Membrane.
Your eardrum. Your
Insane in your membrane.
Cochlea.
the cochlea. This part right here.
Pretty snail.
Eustachian tube opening.
This is the eustachian tube, and the opening or the aperture would be right there
Aperture's at the end.
Oval
at the end.
The opening.
window.
Oval window is below the stapes right here. So this is the stapes, and below it is the oval window.
Round
See?
window.
And the round window is right here. See, it's round.
At the base of
Oval
the
window. No, underneath the base
Underneath the base.
is the oval window, and that's the round window. You can tell it's the round window because it's well round. Yeah.
Semicircular canal.
These are the semicircular canals
Filled with endolymph.
filled with endolymph. Very good.
Vestibular
Extra credit point.
cochlear nerve.
That would be this one, the vestibulocochlear, which is also the 8th cranial nerve, auditory vestibular, vestibulocochlear. That's this
The
one.
8th cranial nerve, guys.
Yes.
The ossicles malleus.
There's 3. Let me take this out. There's the malleus, the incus. So the hammer, malleus, incus, the anvil, and then the stapes, stirrups. Somebody broke it. Yeah, somebody broke it.
And organ of
You did it, didn't you?
Organ of Corti.
The organ of Corti, you couldn't really see it. It's within here. It's the structure that transduces the sound. That's what contains the hair cells, right? That's it. Okay, so it's within here. So maybe I'll put a, sticker, say name this part, and then you say cochlea, and then what structure within it transduces sound. You'll put organ of Corti or whatever.
Organ of Corti.
All done.
Organ
Right.
of Corti.
That's it.
Organ of Corti.
All right.
Organ of Corti.
All right, that's it.
Corti.
And enough time.
Corti?
Corti.
Organ of Corti?
All right.
Yeah.
The balloon have whatever you.
That's it? That's it?
Organ of Corti.